A night of extremes, a night of carnage. This is the Extreme Rules prediction video. Hello everyone, it's NLW Figs here, back again with another video today, coming at you with my Extreme Rules 2022 thoughts and predictions. But before we get into the video, as always, leave a like, leave a comment down below what your predictions are for Extreme Rules on Saturday, and as always, subscribe to NLW Figs for more wrestling figure content. Now, Triple H has stacked this pay-per-view card with 6 incredible matches, each one with a different unique stipulation. Unlike previous years of Extreme Rules, this one is actually delivering up to the name, with Extreme Rules for every single matchup. I cannot wait, and I'm going to go for it match by match, starting with the match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It's an Extreme Rules match between Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. These two have been fighting since before SummerSlam. In fact, at Money in the Bank, when Liv Morgan cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase to beat Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And a lot has been made of Liv Morgan in the interim, like, has she lived up to the hype as being champion? And I think it's an unfair kind of pressure to put on her. Maybe the booking of hers hasn't been the best since SummerSlam. However, I think that they have started to rebuild her character in the last couple of weeks, although I don't know whether her trying to get a cheating advantage over Ronda Rousey is the best way to build her as a face, unless they are turning her heel, which, you know what, I don't really know what's going on with that at the moment, but I am liking the character development of both Morgan and Rousey. Neither one is specifically a heel at the moment, but they're showing shades of grey depending on what their reaction is, so I think it's quite interesting, leveled stuff, and I'm very much looking forward to this matchup. Whether Rousey wins or not, I'm not entirely sure. I do think that it will be Liv Morgan who escapes here with the win somehow. I have no idea how she's going to be able to beat Rousey again, but I think that there's stuff that you can do with Rousey outside of the women's title picture that I think would benefit her, and I think Morgan could potentially have more in terms of a run, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had Rousey win. But with the Extreme Rules tagline, I think there's going to be some sort of nefarious way where, well, not nefarious, but some way that Liv Morgan can outsmart Ronda Rousey and pin her. Whether it's a fluke, whether it's not, I think that Liv Morgan is going to win this and retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. Next up, an I Quit match, Edge versus Finn Balor of the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day have been making life hell for Edge, for AJ Styles, for Rey Mysterio, basically anyone who comes in their way. And Edge returning last week was a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting him to return so soon. I expected him to be out way after Extreme Rules and maybe come back later down the line, but we are getting the match at Extreme Rules, Edge versus Finn Balor in an I Quit match. Now, this one-on-one is a dream match alone. Now you add the I Quit stipulation to it, and I think that it can really be something for both men to excel in. Obviously, Edge has that experience in these hardcore type matches, and I think that he can do some really interesting spots in this matchup. Likewise, Finn Balor has been killing it on Raw recently. There are rumours that he's been getting a lot of treatment backstage, which suggests that he might be in line for a major push soon, which I would be all for. I love Finn Balor. I think he's done fantastic work recently. The Judgment Day as well has been one of my favourite parts of Raw recently, so because Edge and Rey Mysterio got the win over the Judgment Day at Clash at the Castle, I thought the Judgment Day were going to win there. However, this night I do expect Finn Balor to make Edge say I quit, whether that's through some sort of manipulation tactic. Perhaps Finn Balor uses some sort of blackmail psychological advantage. You know, perhaps Rey Mysterio gets involved and Edge has to say I quit to save him, or something of that nature. I think they'll use like a clever workaround. I can't see it being like a clean finish, so to speak. But I do believe that Finn Balor will win this one. Just making Edge say I quit is going to be tough in a clean manner, but I think they'll use some sort of workaround where Edge has to say I quit to save a family member or something of that nature. I'm not sure. Next up, we have a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. It's 6-man tag team action as the Brawling Brutes, that's Ridge, Butch and Sheamus, take on Imperium of Giovanni Vinci? Is that his name? I can't quite remember. Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion. Now, this Friday on SmackDown, it's going to be an Intercontinental title rematch between Gunther and Sheamus, and I cannot wait for that matchup. SmackDown looking pretty stacked this Friday, actually, with Ricochet versus Solo Sikoa as well. But with this matchup, I'm not entirely sure. I think that Gunther will retain his championship this Friday, but I do anticipate that perhaps the Brawling Brutes will win on Saturday night, because they've been on the short end of the stick recently. I think that you need to build them up more after losing that tag match against the Usos, and I love Butch. I think that The whole dynamic that they've got going on there with the Brawling Brutes, slowly turning them face, has been fantastic, and has worked out much better than I anticipated it would. So, very good stuff. And it's also good to see Sheamus getting some love after all these years. His 5-star classic with Gunther at Clash at the Castle was sick. And this matchup as well, I'm sure is going to be sick as well, because they did have a really fun tag match as well a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown, I want to say. So I'm predicting the Brawling Brutes to win, but I do expect that Gunther will be Intercontinental Champion for a while until a certain somebody dethrones him. Speaking of, let's move on to the strap match between Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross. It is a matchup which I'm really looking forward to as well. You know, every match on this card is really solid, and that's what I like about these 6 pay-per-view, or I should say 6 match cards that WWE have been putting on. It's short and to the point, and I can't wait for this one. A strap match between Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre. Now, 2 big beefy boys going at it. Obviously, Karrion Kross has been intertwined with Drew McIntyre since just after SummerSlam, and the match against Roman Reigns where Drew lost thanks to Solo Sikoa, that has kind of pivoted into this match with Karrion Kross here. My question really goes to, do they really want Drew McIntyre to lose twice in a row? Because I do anticipate that Karrion Kross will win this one. I can't see him losing. But at the same time, how do you keep Drew McIntyre strong? Perhaps you do an injury angle, kind of write Drew McIntyre off of TV for a while until the Rumble, maybe where he can make a return, and then build him up again. Because I do think that, you know, I'll echo what I've seen a lot online, is that McIntyre could be the one to dethrone Gunther, and it's obvious he's not getting a world title shot anytime soon after Clash at the Castle, so I think an Intercontinental run would be fantastic for him, and who wouldn't want to see Gunther versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, of all places, for the Intercontinental Championship? So I do maybe see that being a possibility down the line. That said, I don't think he'd be hurt by the loss too much, as long as, you know, maybe he takes some time off after this matchup to, you know, recover and get some rest on the sidelines. But I anticipate that Karrion Kross will win this matchup. How he'll do it, I don't know. Maybe choke out Drew McIntyre or what, but yeah, it's certainly an interesting situation. And another interesting situation, let's just talk about it. The White Rabbit. Yeah, who is this White Rabbit? Obviously, there's rumours that it's going to be revealed at Extreme Rules, whether that person is there or not. I did talk about it briefly with Davian on the podcast, which you can check out on this channel. But yeah, it seems obvious at this point it's Bray Wyatt. It's just, how is he going to differ from what he's done in the past? He's obviously a really creative guy, and yeah, whatever they do moving forward, I mean, I won't be disappointed if he doesn't show up at Extreme Rules, or, you know, whatever happens there. But it's very interesting stuff, and you wonder where Bray Wyatt will fit into storylines when he comes back, whether he'll be kind of up the card or whether he'll be sort of fighting lower guys until like another big feud. But a very interesting possibility with Bray Wyatt coming back, and a lot of cool vignettes that they've been playing, and I can't wait to see what he does next in terms of his character. Next up for the Raw Women's Championship, it's a ladder match. Bianca Belair defends against Bayley of Damage Control. Now, I've really liked this storyline. A lot of people have been kind of dunking on Damage Control recently, saying they haven't lived up to the hype, which is a ridiculous statement considering A, they're in the main title feud, they're always in main events of Raw, and B, you know, they're the Women's Tag Team Champions. I think that speaks for itself, really. I've really enjoyed the work that they've been doing as well, like case in point this past week on Raw, Io Sky and Dakota Kai both had singles matches, which I thought were very good, against Candice LeRae and Alexa Bliss respectively, so they'll be at ringside for this matchup, as will Bianca's crew, at least Asuka. It seems like she's been taken out, and potentially Bliss taken out too, but I'm not sure how this one's going to go. I mean, I've got a pretty good idea that it's going to be Bayley, but you never know with these kind of things. With a ladder match as well, it is a way to protect Bianca to lose without having to be pinned, so I think it's a good idea in that respect. And I think that Bayley, as a women's champion, I think it's long overdue. Obviously, she's had a year off. It's a natural continuation of the feud that she was having with Bianca in 2021 before she got injured. So I think that this is Bayley's time now. Run as a dominant champion, the top heel faction in the women's division, and yeah, keep rolling on towards WrestleMania. Who will take the title from Bayley, though? I wouldn't mind seeing it go back on Bianca, you know, after a long kind of drawn out title chase. I wouldn't mind seeing Bianca get back in the title picture and win it from Bayley again at WrestleMania. I think that's a big money match that you could do. Obviously, Bianca's feud with Becky Lynch produced some stellar matches, and I'm sure that this feud with Bayley, I hope it's not a one-shot deal and they can keep going with this, because it's intriguing me. But I am predicting that Bayley will win the Raw Women's Championship on Saturday. And finally, I'm not sure this is the main event or not, but it's certainly a match which has a lot of hype going into it, with Daniel Cormier as a special guest referee. Never thought I'd say that, but it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle in the Fight Pit, and I can't wait to see the return of the Fight Pit. and on the main roster this time. The first one between Riddle and Thatcher was one of my matches of the year for 2020, and the one with Ciampa and Thatcher, it was alright, but it's kind of forgettable, but there is a lot of possibilities unlocked with this fight pit. It encourages kind of the wrestlers there to think outside of the box, obviously with no ring ropes and things of that nature. You may see some blood, you never know. You'll see some violence, I'm sure, but a definitely more interesting take on a cage match is the fight pit, sort of similar to the Lion's Den, which I was always a massive fan of, going back and watching it. So yeah, and with Daniel Cormier as the referee, could we see him maybe side with somebody? I'm not entirely sure. There are some rumours as well that Cormier will face Lesnar maybe at Crown Jewel, so I wouldn't be opposed to seeing that. But yeah, sick that they've gotten him in to be the ref, and seeing Rollins and Riddle have this kind of MMA type match, I think could be really, really fun. Hopefully they're not too restricted with what they can do in there, but I think it has the possibility to be match of the night. I'm predicting Riddle to win though. I think that Rollins has had a lot of momentum in this feud, and I think that it's finally time for Riddle to get his comeuppance on Rollins, and then potentially the night after Rollins wins the United States Championship, because obviously that's a storyline thread that's been set up with Bobby Lashley. So you could have Riddle win here at the pay-per-view, and then have Rollins win the US title to regain some of that momentum, and then maybe push Riddle into more of a main event role, challenging Roman Reigns. You never know. But I am predicting Matt Riddle to win this card, win this match on this card, I should say. And this card is, well, very, very stacked from head to toe. I cannot wait for it. But what about your thoughts? I want to know what you think of the predictions. Let me know if you think I'm right or wrong in the comments, and comment your own predictions for Extreme Rules in those comments below. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to NLW Figs for more wrestling figure content. That's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later.